really basic really basic values for living in a human society. So a lot of people become open, but maybe not, really not considering the place in the other. Yeah. So I'm wondering about this whole process of opening without perhaps the responsibility to land again.
Yeah, but I think I am agree with Mike. You were saying that you can have profound experiences in a recreational context also. So there is this difference between psychotherapy and recreational is not totally true. And I have had very profound experiences in a recreational context. I mean, my first experiences were in this context. So, but I was talking about this before. The difference is about having a proper preparation and especially a proper integration afterwards. I mean, usually people who is doing recreational psychedelics, they have these profound experiences and they think that making more psychedelics, very often they are going to have more openness and they are going to be more enlightened. But they are not doing the integration work, they are not grounding the experience, they are not bringing that to the world, they are not like manifesting it in any way, so they are just like having experiences and not being grounded, no? And I was talking with Jason Silva 2 days ago, by the way, and he has this phrase. It's not from him, but I think I don't know if Timothy Leary told it or it was a psychedelic researcher. But the thing is, when you have the message, you need to.
When you get the message, hang up the phone.
Exactly. When you have the message, hang up the phone. I mean, you don't need to be receiving messages all the time. So you need to hang up the phone and then do the integration. Maybe it takes 1 month or 3 months or 6 months or 10 years. And then maybe you need more messages, so you need to have another conversation. But not all the time. I mean, you need to do other things also.
Yeah, I think, and I think what also you're getting at is, it's this false idea, right, that you just do psychedelics and you become enlightened, or you just do more psychedelics and you just become more open and more spiritual. I just keep doing more acid, and that's how I'm gonna get closer to God. To me, psychedelics aren't, they don't make me better intrinsically, but they tell me where to do the work, and that's where the integration all comes into play.
And sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
Not only with psychedelics, but also with psychedelics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rarely do psychedelics anymore.
So 1 or 2 more questions. Well, there are some.
Yeah, we can have maybe 1, maybe 2 more. Yeah, there are 2 people. Okay, well, 2 more.
3 more. Yeah. There are 3 people. Yeah.
You guys were talking about accessibility of psychedelics, and I'm interested in the breathwork side and the different benefits and risks of that. And it seems like, you know, all of us have access to our own breath, and it's perhaps the most accessible psychedelic we can take.
Yeah.
But I don't see it practiced very widespread, and I'm curious what you think those limitations are, how they can be uplifted, and if there's any risk to it, like why more people aren't doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of research on breath work. The thing about breath work is that it's not only the breath work. I mean, you need to create a context again, like a good setting, and with psychedelics it's the same. We haven't talked about setting, but it's also important, not only the preparation and the integration, but the setting, like where you are, the context, like if you are safe, if you feel safe, if you are in a good company. So this is also important. And with breath work, you really need to create a very good setting, and you also need to do the preparation and the integration. So it takes a lot of work to really put together a breath work workshop sometimes. And I think that's why there is not so much going on, and also because it's not so sexy like taking psychedelics for people. I mean, people is like, oh, breathe, I mean, I can do it at home or whatever. And psychedelics are more sexy, so there is more money for psychedelic research than for holotropic breathwork research, and people prefer doing psychedelics than doing breathwork. So, but this may change, and also it's something educational, no? To educate people about other ways to access this non-ordinary state of consciousness. So you can do it with meditation, you can do it with breathwork, you can do it going to nature, you can do it fasting. I mean, you can do it dancing, you can do it singing. I mean, you can do it going to the mountain for 3 days and not having contact with anyone. So there are a lot of different ways to do it. So I think this is a good point also, yeah.
Yeah, and I would add to that, you know, I'll go back to my experience in the psychedelic study, and every day before you know, Mary would hand me the psilocybin, or actually I didn't know if it was psilocybin. It might have been psilocybin, it might have been something else, it might have been a placebo, and I would set my intention, take the pill. But I found that even on the placebo day, I was able to meet my intention, because it was a whole day I was devoting phones off, not doing anything. I'm sitting there with the eye shades, with the headphones of Bill Richards' soundtrack, specifically crafted for this kind of experience, with people that are there, paying attention to me, helping me go deeper. And even without the psychedelic, I was able to find myself meeting my intention for that day. What's the lesson there? Well, it does tell you a lot about intention, set and setting. And I also find that the psychedelics almost teach us how we can do things without the psychedelics.
Yeah, well, another interesting thing is our Johns Hopkins studies. They are doing this combination of taking just a psychedelic with the preparation and the integration, or taking the psychedelic with preparation, integration, and a meditation practice. So they just published these results of this study, and they are seeing that if you have a meditation practice, is working in both ways. Your meditation practice is deeper after the psychedelic experience, but also the process of integrating the experience is much better if you are meditating than if you are not. So also the combination of different tools is very interesting way of continuing this research, like combining yoga with psychedelics, or meditation with psychedelics, or even breath work, not at the same time, but in the same process. So this is another way of going forward, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so I think last question, and then
Okay, thanks. Hola Iker, una alegría enorme poder conocerte acá en este momento.
Gracias.
How people, let me ask this guy first in Spanish.
Yes, for sure.
And then I translate.
Yeah.
Bueno, me gustaría que te puedas extender un poquito sobre tu experiencia de entrevistar a Claudio Naranjo.
Ajá.
Claudio tiene un recorrido mucho más extenso que solamente en el campo de la psicodelia.
Ajá.
Bueno, tuviste la oportunidad de entrevistarlo creo que varias veces.
Sí.
Me gustaría que puedas comentar tu sentimiento personal de estar con él.
Ajá.
Y bueno, no sé, luego lo leeré en el libro.
Ajá.
Well, I am asking him about his experience to interview with Claudio Naranjo, because the Claudio Naranjo work goes beyond only psychedelics. Well, this is my question.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, I'm going to also answer in Spanish and in English. And I am sorry that we are in Mexico and we are doing this only in English, because I mean, maybe there is some Mexican here that they don't know English, and I am also not Spanish. I am Basque, but I use more the Spanish than the English usually. But bueno, voy a contestar en castellano por lo menos esta pregunta, y luego la voy a traducir al inglés también. I'm going to translate in English. Pues realmente el ejemplo de Claudio Naranjo es un ejemplo de esto que estábamos hablando ahora. Él empezó trabajando con psicodélicos, pero es que después se movió a empezar a combinar el uso de la psicoterapia con la meditación. Él es uno de los pioneros en combinar el uso de la psicoterapia con la meditación, y después incluso empezó a combinar la psicoterapia con la meditación, con trabajo artístico, con teatro. O sea que realmente él es un ejemplo de cómo realmente no solo se trata de psicodélicos, sino que se trata de técnicas que permitan acceder a estados ampliados de conciencia, o cualquier técnica que permita acceder al mundo interno. Entonces mi experiencia con él fue también impresionante, ver su entrega y su presencia y su atención, su memoria. Yo cuando lo entrevisté tenía 83 años, y la última vez que lo entrevisté tenía 85, 84, y realmente es increíble como una persona de esa edad todavía sigue viajando por todo el mundo, como Stan Groth, y realmente tiene una memoria prodigiosa, y todo el trabajo que ha podido hacer y entregar a esta comunidad es impresionante. So now I'm going to explain in English the same. So Claudio Naranjo is an example of what we were talking about, because he was doing psychedelic research for a few years, but then he also was doing this integration between meditation and psychotherapy. So he wrote a couple of books of how to integrate meditation with psychotherapy, and he also was working with Enneagram and with expressive art. So he's combining all these tools to allow people accessing his inner world and to do the psychotherapy or the self-development process. So it's not really about psychedelics, and Claudio Naranjo is an example of this. So yeah, I think it's a good way to finish this interview.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, and congratulations, and looking forward to seeing your successful crowdfunder for this thing to be in English as well.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. Yeah.
Stay tuned for more this weekend.
Thank you.